Hey everybody, it is Dana. I am coming at you today with some information that I came across. As you may or may not know, I spent quite a bit of time working for the city of Philadelphia in a variety of capacities, from a clerical manager to someone who worked in payroll and HR in various departments. So I'm still very close with a lot of folks there. It's interesting because much like here, a lot of folks will not necessarily contact me. They will not necessarily contact me publicly through Facebook, but I do receive emails and sometimes phone calls and really strange things that happen. But I do appreciate anyone that would share information with me. I do hope to bring it to the public, not because I myself am seeking attention, but because I am in fact seeking attention that can be directed towards fighting these type of tyrannical rules. More specifically, what I'm concerned with is that rules for thee, but not for me. Okay. And so I would love to just go on a rant, but I don't think that's going to be helpful today. I'm going to go ahead and share this because I'm sure that I am being shadow banned any and everywhere that I could possibly be. I'm going to go ahead and be nice if I could spell, right, guys? I don't know how to spell. Okay. So we have that. We have this. We are going to go over this paper. I think Facebook it's going to be backwards. I'm not sure about you guys on YouTube if you can see it. This is now I'm going to put this in a little bit of a frame of context for you guys. This has been I'm going to have to tag some friends here because I'm just not getting any. Okay. So what we are going to talk about here is that I am definitely in a place where I want to read this to you guys and just share with you the information that I have. This is I'm going to have to speak in code, so I hope you guys can kind of read between the lines here, okay? This is the paperwork that explains frequently asked questions about the vaccine mandate. Now, as it stands, this is obviously being challenged in court, and the Biden administration has been sued for this, what many perceive as an unconstitutional mandate. Why is the city implementing this vaccination mandate? Okay. Based on the continued impact of the pandemic and acknowledging this ongoing struggle, the vaccinations are the primary tool to reduce spread. We announced that all new employees starting on or after September 1st must be vaccinated as a condition of their employment. So this is saying that all new employees, regardless, must be vaccinated as a condition of their employment. That means that you cannot work for the city unless you are vaccinated with something that is not even currently FDA approved, and not that FDA approval would in some way mean that you lose freedom of choice in this matter, but for what it's worth. Right now, this vaccination mandate is being challenged by the police and fire fighters unions, and so that has kind of extended to the civil service employees, even though they're under a different union. So this, of course, is going to apply to non-represented or exempt employees. So this is going to be your administrative level employees, and usually folks that are on a salary. It wouldn't apply to anybody that is covered in DC 33 as of right now. But here's what scares me about these things is that they start, right now, this is just non-represented and exempt employees of the city. And there are not many. Most of them are covered by the union. But if we allow this for them, then they're going to go ahead and pass these kind of things for all of us, really, eventually. The thing that really got me, and the thing that really irked the person who brought this to me is that they saw this line. Okay, I'm hoping we can get this. Okay, there we go. Not sure if it's backwards for somebody, straight laced for somebody else. Okay. I want to read this. Does the vaccination mandate apply to employees in independently elected offices such as city council or the district attorney's office? Answer, this policy does not apply to independently elected officials. However, it is our hope that these offices will extend this policy to all of their exempt and non-represented employees. Now, what I am happy about, so I'll start there. What I am happy about is that they do make note to suggest that there are medical and religious exemptions available. It does say that they have got to, any employee has not been fully vaccinated, granted an exemption, blah, 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 blah. These exemptions have to be turned in by November 20, hold on, I'm trying to find the exact date. I believe it's like November 22nd or something like that. I did have it written down at some point, but if you are granted, if Lord Farquaad grants you an exception, then what you're going to do is you have to have it in by November 22nd. And then from that point forward, what you would have to do is always be either double masked with a cloth and then a paper mask, or an N95 mask. And then it makes this really odd statement that is just like a little too vague for me, right? Second, you will need to participate in routine testing at a frequency and manner to be determined by the City of Philadelphia in consultation with your appointing authority. Routine testing. Now, what does that mean? Because we don't have an answer to these kinds of questions, it only leaves us the opportunity to guess. And if we were to base, if we were to consider what the government's next set of actions would be, and we were to compare their actions over the last year and a half, I think it's pretty clear to anybody to see that this is not something that's going to stop with exempt employees, obviously. Meanwhile, there's even something here about getting boosters. So they haven't even technically put this into play yet. It's still being fought into court, and they're already talking about boosters. Now, I got something for you guys. When you see that there is a free shot, a free flu shot, a free COVID shot, just so you understand, that's not actually free, you guys. That's taxpayer funded. That comes from the working class folks who are essentially subsidizing through tax breaks for these companies that make hundreds of billions of dollars a year, and are some of the companies that have had to pay some of the biggest fines in court because they are some of the most corrupt companies on planet Earth. You guys, it is imperative that you really, really consider availing yourself of the religious and medical exemptions that are available in the state of Pennsylvania. I also strongly encourage you to hire a lawyer to work with you. There are lawyers. If you need help, I can help you, especially if they are local to the Pennsylvania area. I do know someone who's been very helpful so far, and we are looking forward to getting that exemption approved, hopefully. It has really been a struggle. The way I tried to explain it to my husband is that at its most basic level, and the way the Pennsylvania Constitution is written is that, it guarantees our religious freedom, and that is without consideration for denomination, for whether you have, a specific creed that you follow, like that you're specifically like Catholic or Protestant or whatever. The Pennsylvania Constitution makes room for folks that have a deep faith, but don't necessarily follow a specific religion. So, we've been given an immune system, okay? And immune systems are not conspiracy theories, you guys, either, okay? We've been given immune systems. The immune system is supposed to naturally fight off a bug and then build immunity. We have attempted to, hijack or put that kind of system, if you were, on steroids when we are injecting multiple viruses at once. not surprisingly, this causes a myriad of side effects for little babies. And what I find interesting is that when we talk to people about their side effects from, let's say, even prior to this, from the flu shot or any other shot, sometimes I'm trying to think, trying to think of some that might, might affect you. I have no idea. You really have to consider medically what the potential risks of those things are. Now, I think when you're dealing with shots that have a super long track record that we've been using for multiple years, there's an easier way to make a case for the fact that these shots have to be mandatory. But the bottom line is you're being coerced if you have to be threatened into doing it. And respectfully, people who just kind of like buy into this unknowingly perpetuate the tyranny by bolstering it. When you go in and you roll your sleeve up, you are taking money out of your pocket, putting it in theirs, and they're injecting an experiment into you. And that's what you signed up for. So as we've talked about before, as we've talked about before in occult practices, they absolutely have to tell us what they're going to do. And so that's the case. Here's what they're going to do. They want you to double mask. You're going to be double masked whether or not you have the COVID vaccine. Guarantee it. I guarantee this is coming. We also know that elected officials, the DA, and what was it? I believe also city council, those lucky dogs, they don't have to follow these rules. So think about this, right? You have the mayor or the mayor's office, right? And then you have city council, right? And then you have like the DA's office. So you have the mayor's office and those eggheads over there that just sit over there and think of more tyrannical bullshit that they can push on us. And they decide, oh, okay, we're going to have this mandate. So they go ahead and they just decide we're going to have the mandate. Great. Who's going to enforce the mandate? The DA's office, who's also not subject to the mandate. Isn't that crazy? And then, a mandate's not really a law. So in order to get it actually turned into a law, who would that? And then probably, city council would make it a law. But again, city council doesn't have to follow their own laws. Silly me. Collective action is the only way forward. I encourage people to talk to their friends within their various departments in the city, not just because if you're exempt or a non-union employee, you need to speak to other people within the city because collective action is the only way forward. Because when you all submit religious exemptions that are signed by an attorney, there is a certain kind of legal authority that is behind that is not if you just turn it in on your own. And so at this point, we have decided that we're going to avail ourselves of every possible route here because this goes against certainly my belief. I think that generally speaking, my belief is such that I believe in bodily autonomy. And so I believe in a set of things that I know would make a lot of people uncomfortable. I don't believe in routine infant circumcision. I do not believe in piercing a baby girl's ears. I know that's like petty, and it's certainly not like a hill to die on. It's not something I'm super judgy over it, but I do not believe in making any kind of like permanent alteration to one's body. And I think there's certainly plenty of biblical examples and biblical laws of our body being a temple and being careful what we consume and those sorts of things. I think there's plenty of that. But more importantly, I am simply anti-blanket mandate of any kind. Almonds are a health food, right? But we're not going to mandate almonds for everybody because some people are allergic to almonds. Makes sense. Anytime there's a new medical procedure, a new medicine that comes out, let's say a new type of implant or something like that, inevitably there are some kind of side effects that are reported later, and those things are okay, but you have to be aware of the fact that could happen. Okay. When you mandate something, you really take away their freedom of choice. For many people, they cannot go without an income. And these elected officials who wrote themselves out of this law, they know that. They know the desperate nature of trying to provide for your family in this kind of an economy. And they're taking advantage of it by shoving these mandates down people's throats before they have an opportunity to fight. They're sneaking these mandates up on people. They're not giving them an opportunity to even gather their thoughts, much less avail themselves of religious and medical exemptions. So again, my advice to everybody is to consider a medical or religious exemption if you feel as though you might qualify for something like that. Those things are available. A lawyer would be a big help. I think it's time to start contacting these elected officials and asking them why they wrote themselves out of this. Why did you write yourself out of this? I've gone on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to try to figure out why they wrote themselves out of this, and nobody will answer me. So I'm going to take that and get my kids to bed because it is getting late. If you can, hit the thumbs up button below. I appreciate your time, guys. Thank you. Bye. All right, I got one more video to do and then I'm done.
That was good.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I wasn't unpausing the thing for some reason. I was trying to pause.
All right, guys, be good. Please, I'm trying to get this done. What do you mean unpausing it? Kids are so funny.
I didn't see the playing you had going on.